Hi guys, today I would like to dive with you very far below the sea level and discover a totally different universe, the world of the deep sea, the world of the abyss. We are going to slowly descend below the sea and discover how the light disappears, how the temperature decreases, how the pressure increases very quickly. And as we start our descent at about 150 meters below the sea level, 99% of the light of the sun has already disappeared, leaving us in almost complete obscurity. But if we are lucky enough, we might cross a group of blue whales that often dive to this depth. Let's resume our descent. We feel the very strong increase in pressure. Actually, every time we go down by 10 meters, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. The atmosphere is an unit used to measure pressure. We generally don't feel or think about it when we are at the surface, but the air around us is applying a pressure on our bodies, and our bodies are designed to live at the surface because this is how they have evolved. In other environments, the pressure can decrease. For example, when we climb mountains and the density of the air around us diminishes, which sometimes can harm us if we go too high. And if we leave the Earth and go to space, there is no pressure at all. What would instantly kill us in space is this absence of pressure, together with the extremely low temperature. Now, if we dive down into the sea, this is the opposite. Water applies a stronger pressure than air on our bodies, and the more we go down, the more our bodies have to stand an important quantity of water above our heads. At 10 meters below the sea level, the pressure has doubled at 2 atmospheres. At 30 meters, it has tripled. And as we continue to descend and now reach 1 kilometer and a half or 1 mile below the sea, the pressure has been multiplied by 150. By chance, only our minds are traveling, because this would mean instant death for us. But not for all mammals. the sperm whale has the capacity to dive sometimes as deep as almost 2 miles or 3 kilometers below the sea level. And if you listen well, you might also hear their sound. Let's go even deeper now, down to 5 kilometers or 3 miles below the sea level. Now the temperature has stabilized at about 3 degrees Celsius, slightly above the level at which it would become ice, and the obscurity has been complete for a long time now. The pressure is 500 times higher than at the surface. Any conventional submarine would be instantly crushed like a walnut by this pressure. If we have been diving above the deepest abysses on Earth, we are only halfway to the bottom of the ocean. And until the 1970s, it was supposed that life was impossible at such a depth because of these extremely hostile conditions and the absence of energy, as there is no light from the sun. The photosynthesis by plants is impossible here, and it looked impossible for any kind of life to develop. But when special submarines were sent to this depth, scientists realized that life had found its way. And this is what we're going to talk about. The forms of life that live in the abyss would be instantly killed if they were driven up to the surface, like us if we were left without any pressurized suit in space. But they do live, and they have developed strategies to use the very scarce resources that are available here. And there are essentially two kinds of resources that make life possible. There are resources coming from the surface, falling down to the bottom of the ocean, and there are resources coming from the earth itself. One resource coming from the surface is the marine snow. The marine snow that you might have seen in documentaries showing submarine images is a rain of organic matter falling from the surface down to the depth of the ocean. It is made of dead fishes and marine animals in general, of animal feces and organic particles that are falling very slowly. They are going down by about 100 meters a day, and they are a source of food for numerous organisms that live from this marine snow. In fact, only 2 or 3% of this marine snow reaches the depth of the ocean. The rest is consumed by all the life forms that occupy the various levels of the ocean. Another source of food that can create ecosystems at this depth is the dead bodies of whales. When a whale dies, its body falls down to the bottom of the ocean, and this represents a gigantic arrival of organic matter on a small surface, one that corresponds to the body of the whale. From the whale's death, hundreds of forms of life will live and create an ecosystem that might sometimes last as long as 1 century. An ecosystem of shrimps and crabs and worms, shells, with its own chain of prey and predators living from the dead body of the whale. But there are even more impressive things in the sea. Another source of energy and organic matter can be the reserves of hydrocarbons like methane, for example, that have been trapped in the past. And sometimes these hydrocarbons escape from their reservoirs, allowing bacteria to feed on hydrocarbons and start as the basis of another food chain that develops around these seeps of hydrocarbon. Another source of energy is the geothermy. Like on the surface, there are places in the oceans where the lava and extremely high temperatures of the earth are in contact with the outside world, and this means a liberation of heat and various gases on which other bacteria can feed, these hydrothermal vents that can be found on the bottom of the ocean. There are like oases of life that appear with bacteria that turn the molecules into organic matter and energy, and the food chain of crustaceans, of shells, mussels in particular, and incredible tube worms that are at the top of this food chain. These oases of life are developing in conditions that are almost unthinkable to us. We would immediately die when put in contact with them, as much as they would die reaching the surface. There are other forms of life here, and this includes fishes such as the tripod fish or the linophine lucifer, strange kinds of animals that we know not a lot about, given the difficulty to observe them. But what we know is that their morphology adapted to this extreme environment. Their internal pressure is similar or close to that of the environment. Their senses are also adapted, generally with a sense of vision that is absent or very limited. But some fishes are able to generate their own light thanks to a phenomenon called bioluminescence. Bioluminescence is a chemical reaction that allows the liberation of light in these abysses, and makes it possible for some of these fishes to hunt several kilometers below the sea level. The possibility that such life forms developed in an environment that would be extremely hostile to us shows the incredible adaptation capacity of life, and maybe what we can learn from this universe that remains largely unknown today. Actually, more men have been walking on the moon than on the bottom of this deep ocean. Is that life might well have developed in many other places in the universe, even when the life conditions look extremely hostile to us, and it makes it even more credible that we are not alone in this universe. Let's now slowly rise towards the surface, because this is going to be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this journey, and I hope to see you soon, my friends.